I skipped right over instruction 7, which is a formula to calculate total cost, which is actually easy. So that's just equals, and then you're going to say rental fee plus insurance charge plus shipping charge. Oh, not equals, Tiffany. Good job. And I know I said a ways back that I was going to do it exactly as the book says. There are still some, oh, see how it worked all nice. There are still some things I can do to make it my own, and actually I have heard from a couple of students that they really appreciated the things I did. In my office, were I an employee, I wouldn't leave it like this. First, I would say no fill, take the color off. Come on. Why didn't that work? Oh, it did. Okay, no fill. It just took a minute. Come on. If I do this, no fill. That's interesting. I don't know why that won't work. Well, let's just figure it out together. It is a table, cell styles. There we go. Just so it's closer to black and white. I believe this is how I did it in when I was in class. Now let's see if it works here. And I can say no fill. I can, but now you need to change the text to black or you won't be able to see it. And of course when you do that, then you're going to have to do things like box them in. And this is how I would do it if it were my assignment, whether it says so in the book or not, and how I would present it if I were an employee. I would not do this. I would say none to get rid of the inside borders, and then I would go back and I would box that alone. Look how much better that looks. And then I would probably, yeah, we don't want to do it like that. I would widen it a little bit. Oops. And I would make it so that the 6 goes down on the next line, which the easiest way to do is just make it smaller until the 6 goes down. Oops. So now if you do Control P, I think that looks a lot better than it did, but I don't like it around furniture rental, so I would just keep messing with it until it was the way I want it. I don't like the bottom border on this. Oops. No border. And then if you look, Control P, there's no border. Well, I don't like that either. So now I would go back and just select here, shift to here, and box that group. And now look. See how nice that looks and clean? That's what I would do. I'm not changing the location of anything, so you shouldn't get any remarks about your formulas being wrong or anything. I would change this into accounting. I would change all of these into accounting because everything should be. I would take the dollar signs off, but in order to do that, you have to put in US dollars somewhere. I'm still going to take the dollar signs off. Oh, I know a creative way to do it. All money should be in accounting. No dollar signs because they're confusing. There's way too many of them. No decimal points. Excellent. Okay, so then you could say without moving anything, you could go up here to furniture rental charges and you could put an asterisk at the end. Even though this isn't the best way to do it, you could type, oops, asterisk in US dollars. If you wanted, I'll put this down. Woo, woo. Right there. So that's what it means. something like that. But it would manage to keep your cells in the same location and still accomplish what I like to accomplish. I would bold these also. Whoops. I would bold those. Those are 11. Let's see. This one is merge and center. I would unmerge and center everything. And then I would take this and center across selection as is appropriate. Again, like I said, keeping merged cells on any form is just not good. Sometime, who knows when or why, sometime it would likely stop something from working correctly. A formula won't work, you won't be able to create a function, and your reason will be merged cells. So, see, that looks way better, I think. And I would do that with all of these so that they all looked consistent throughout your form. Okay, so it changed the whole thing. So I'm going to take this and go no fill. And then change the text. And I would mess with the boxes in this as well. If you don't like this, you can go ahead and just ignore this. This is how, like I said, I did it. I'd box around that. Actually, take it off so there's no borders. Get rid of it all. I would take all of it. And no borders. Nice. And then you can border what you want. And here. You can let it go like that, or you can change it to long date, which I like because I just think it's prettier. It's up to you. Data definition table, again, we're back to merge cells. So I want to unmerge everything. And I want to take this, oops, and center across selection. Unlock the cell. I don't think that matters because it's not a protected sheet anymore, but okay. I would make it bold. Control B. It's a good size. I would make these bold as well. Control B. Your font should be the same throughout. It looks like there's a couple different fonts in here, so just don't do that. Actually, you know what you can do? Hit escape. You could grab a hold of this and shift and grab a hold all the way down to there and change the fonts in the whole thing, I'm thinking. Can't change the size in the whole thing, but you could change the font, so then that way you make sure that there's only one font throughout. See, it changed them all. So you could go through and read, oh, okay, so now we didn't no fill on that. No borders, no fill. Nice. And when we get to that, we can work on that. But that's, so all your forms, again, I would finish that and you'll see at the end how it will look. Now, what's going on with these? Oh, I see. Okay. So, yeah, these are going to be, so yeah, same thing. I would format this. Let's see. Just take these and bold them. Control B. This is going to be Control B because it's a heading. Furniture group is typed where? It's typed there. So you select it, the length of the, and say center across selection. Now, so you've still got some random borders in here. Actually, you know what we could do? We could just take the borders off the whole doggone thing and then rebold it or reborder it as we like. Okay. Oops, I have the whole thing selected, so I shouldn't have done that. Hold on. So I'm going to Control Z to undo what I just did. Okay, so no. Nice. These I would probably individually. Yeah, I don't really like that. I guess it is the simplest way not to rearrange the entire section. Now, for me, my personal preference, I would Shift, select. Well, let's box it and see what it looks like. Okay, well, it's falling off the... But that's okay. I like that better. And there would be a whole page layout and stuff like that, but I don't want to move any of the cells. This, we're going to center across selection again, just like we do with the others. Actually, this one you could copy the format from here. And as long as you select all the way, there you go. And then I would box it. Oh, in order to see the whole thing, let's see what's going on up here. Oh, I see. So maybe it would be a good idea to make these wider so that there are only 2 lines, so it doesn't look so weird when it prints out. Here, let's do this. There we go. So there we go. Very nice. And this one. Okay, nice. So then what you can do is you can take this and say format row height, Autofit row height. There we go. That's a lot better. Now let's see. Yeah, still I would mess around with this, but that's all, again, subjective and your choice. This, I would bold these. I would center that whole line. Now if you just go, oh, okay, so we could do this and go like this. Nice. Very nice. And these, actually, I would probably do this because I just don't like them that far over. I think it looks much better. What do you think? Anyway, so I digress. Back to the assignment. Actually, just so I don't leave you hanging with the formatting, let's do this and let's make it right. So let's say the width, so it fits on one page, so that each page will fit on one page, and we'll leave the height automatic. And then let's see what it will really look like the way I've done it. I need to do Barrett Furniture Rental centered across the top. Again, that will not affect your grade or any comments that you might get. And this should be on the top of every page. You cannot do that in this assignment without changing the cell references in your formulas, and we don't want to get you any comments in that direction, so I'm going to go ahead and call it. But in real life, it should be centered across selection. It should be at the top of every page. Okay, so now let's do Control P and see what all the pages look like. Much cleaner than with the color, and we have to do this. print all sheets, not just active sheets, entire workbook. So now you can see all 6 sheets. Still, that's, it is what it is. Okay, so I let that go ahead and go to 2. It could be smaller. If I were going to print it, I would have double checked that. We don't need to for this assignment. But in the real world, you would. And same thing there. Anyway, that's just my take. Now back to the assignment for real. So now we're on step 9, and we're going to use the COUNTIF and SUMIF functions to total some things up. So go to the rental report, and again, you saw that I took the boxes off, so everything looks a little different than it did before, or maybe it does on yours. There's no merge and center. Oh, yes, there is. So we need to unmerge the cells. Nice. Okay, so then we're going to take, because we don't want to change these, ideally I would move these over here, but whatever. So we need to center. So since it's going to be one column over here, I'm going to make it one column over here so that it is actually centered. Nice. So then I would make this bold and make this bold. Oh. Okay. I would take this and I would make it right aligned so that it's in, you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, then I would box this. Well, yeah, you kind of, if you end up boxing this like this, let's just check it out. It'll look weird, I think, because it's off center. It is off center. I'll show you what you can do. You could do this, and you could make this column smaller, since it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really change your column names or locations, but it's more centered. Now check it out. Sorry, let's do active sheet. Better. I don't know. Again, subjective. Okay, so now we need to enter formulas in here. And for the number of rentals, we're going to do a COUNTIF. And COUNTIF is conditional, so it's going to count the cells where they're not blank. So COUNTIF not blank. Excuse me. So we're going to want totals of 6 months, so we're going to say equal COUNTIF. And then it's going to be if the rental period equals six. Oh, sorry. So this is my formula, and the solutions formula don't look the same, but this is what you want using COUNTIF. So you're going to say equal COUNTIF, and it wants to know the range. So your range is going to be rental data, and you're going to say rental. Oh, you're going to take the whole thing, rentals. Oh, I see. So that's why it wants, right, like that. Rentals. And then rental period. So that's the conditional or calculated column. Now, sorry, this should be square bracket. So then it's just rentals that we're going to look in. I'm sorry, rental period. And then we're going to close the bracket. Oops. And then we're going to say equals, and it has to be in quotes. No, that's wrong. Just the range and then a comma. So what's the criteria? Well, we want it to have 6 because it's 6 months. So we say 6 and hit enter. There. Then you get your 6 months total. You're going to do the exact same thing for 12. Equal, countif. And since we already know it's, whoops, rentals, rental period, comma, and then 12. So that's just counting them. And then to total them, you just go like this and say AutoSum. My video is getting too long, so I'll finish the rest on the next one.